Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and today we are going to do the Master difficulty version of Scavengers Den. We are down here in the outskirts of the European Dead Zone, and in this one it's showing arms. You could see this on another day, and it may not be arms, but this is a Fallen Lost sector with Barrier and Overload champions. Your destination modifiers, arc damage, and knockback damage is going to be increased. Solar burn is on, which you'll definitely feel if you get caught in the wrong spot, but we also want to output heavy burn there, and then the one shield that we've really got to deal with is going to be Arc, and that is actually the boss. Unfortunately, it's one of those. So, I am doing this loadout as usual with no exotics, but there are plenty that will do lots of work in here. And then also, I'm not going to use my super, so again, take advantage of those. First, we're going to cover our champions. We've got anti-barrier. I'm using an auto rifle for literally the lowest benefit. I'm doing like the worst setup I can for this one. And then an overload hand cannon. It's doable. Auto rifle's okay, but I'd probably go with a scout rifle here, but I'm trying not to even use my masterworked weapon. So, those two, again, auto rifle, scout rifle. This is one of those where a scout rifle is probably going to be beneficial just due to the length of some of the rooms, but generally, take your pick. As for overload, hand cannon's basically the way to go. One thing to note about hand cannons, I'm using one that takes 3 shots. If you have any hand cannon that has explosive payload or timed payload, that will only need 2 shots to basically trigger the overload stun. Overload captains here are a little bit annoying, but it's actually the barriers that pair up with the overload captain later on. They get to be more annoying. So there's one part, I'll tell you guys, it's quite spicy. I'm going grenade launcher on this one. Not very high level, 1311 here, pretty basic stuff, and I still finished it. Solar is the key. Now, this one does have field prep on it and spike, so I mean, I'm getting some benefit from those. But there are definitely better options. If you've got a rocket launcher, for example, solar one, it's fine. Biggest thing, make sure your grenade launcher has major spec, or if as long as it's not as exotic, basically just put major spec on everything you're running, you will get benefits from that. Now, for scavenger, grenade launcher reserves, and ammo finder, make sure those are always on there. If you have a chest piece and you have one that say has solar energy, I would definitely run solar damage resistance. Second to solar, I would probably run arc damage resistance. Those two are probably going to be the most beneficial. Void, not going to do so much in this one, I'll be completely honest. So solar is going to be your first major bonus because the burn is going to hurt a lot if it hits you. Same as the big guys are mostly shooting that. Arc, secondary benefit, not a bad thing to have. If you're running grenade launcher, breach and clear. If you're running anything else, my advice, at least get your Sundering Blast. So if you stun a champion, it hurts things around it. Half the time it can kill some of the adds that are near it, and it does free damage to it. As for exotics, armor, I'll let you guys figure some of those out. As for heavies, specifically, you've got Sleeper Simulant. It's going to do a ton of damage, especially if you're hitting those crits. Xenophage, decent amount of ammo, also pretty powerful. Heir Apparent, again, if you can get that thing spun up. The only problem with a machine gun like this, the amount, like, you're going to want to use your heavy on champions. You're going to have to spin this thing up. You're not going to be able to do too much damage to things like overload captains, and I'll show you why, because you can't be off your overload weapon for too long. Eyes of Tomorrow, if you just want to light up a room and you've got it, that's probably not a horrible one to use. Thousand Voices may be good if you've got it. Basically, you see I'm going over anything solar. Lament, not really a viable option in here. Most of the time, I would say, because your proximity, you're just going to get killed. Especially if you're going flawless, don't go Lament. But other than that, Xenophage, really powerful one in here. Two-Tailed Fox actually isn't horrible because it is a Void and a Solar Rocket, so you kind of get both. So you've got some options in there for the exotic heavies. And then again, anything for your armor that you want to use for your class, definitely use that. Super, since you have the only shield covered with your energy weapon, pretty much just make sure this is arc here. You can go solar here and then solar here and light up whatever you want between grenades and other things. As for grenades, you've got incendiary for fusion for me. Just the way some of the angles are, I was trying thermite, and it's not bad in some places, but just that one big shot is honestly sometimes better. So I'm going to go fusion grenade, just see if I can use that to attach. Use whatever you feel comfortable with, but I'll explain a couple things as we go. So let's jump in. I know that's a long intro, but I do like to cover as much as I can on Masters and also cover loadout options. So inside we go. All right, so when you load in, you're going to have about 3 or drag to deal with, and then 1 possible Vandal if you can get a decent angle on them. The drags aren't too bad. Third one's going to be up here. Now, this is where I would say, please use the scout rifle. You're going to be better off for doing it. But this Vandal over here should be manageable from here. Now, usually if you do enough damage, he's going to go run off. As you can hear the overload crazy captain to my right. Yeah, he's going to be fun. So my advice, if you don't have a scout rifle and it took that long for me to try and damage the Vandal, finish the Vandal before you go mess with this captain to my right, because otherwise he's honestly just going to be an annoyance. Okay. Overload captains are beyond frustrating. I have had my issues. I'm mid-clip with an overload weapon, still getting his health back. So if you have issues with overloads, you are not alone. Trust me. That being said, let's see if we can do this. So 3 shots, 1, 2, 3. Get the stun. Now, if I can put some damage in with a heavy weapon, and then switch back to my overload weapon, I should be able to manage him in a normal fashion. Like that. Took 5 grenades. So heavy ammo is, you know, a good thing to hold on to. You're going to have this guy. Marauder's going to push. He's being barriered right now. Got to wait till he gets out of range. And then just know that he will definitely hurt. But that Marauder is not alone. There will be some more ads. So if you want to come up top, going to have a few more drags up here. And you're going to have a few of the ads circle around this way. It's not a bad way to take care of them. But my advice, don't kill them all. Leave 1 or 2 over there and come back over here. Why? If you kill everything but the champion that's right below this lip, you're going to get the overload captain across the room to spawn. Make your life a bit more entertaining. So, you can clear out some of the ads. Leave a few of them. But now, shanks are probably going to be a little annoying. Try and kill those. Most things won't be too bad here. Make sure you got enough ammo. So when you do damage to your barrier servitor enough to get that... There it is. Once it triggers that shield spawn, make sure you're there and waiting for it. Now, if you want to kill it fast, you totally can. If you're low on heavy after some weird, you know, issues, then just be ready for the shot. See, that was the bad time to reload. That's my fault. Barrier champions, the big thing about barrier champions is that you want to make sure you're always ready, especially after a teleport, with a full clip to be able to break that shield. Anything after that, it's up to you. But always be ready with enough bullets. Hopefully I've got enough here and 9 of them. I don't. And this is actually going poorly. But again, this is like, you can sit here and stun barriers and they're manageable as long as you're ready. It takes 10 bullets for me to break that shield, so I know I can't get lower than 10. Then I can put more damage in. Wait for that grenade, pull back. You know, plink a few little bullets of damage, make sure you're ready for that shot. And then, while they're stunned, you can do whatever you want to, but make sure before they get ready to do their shielding that you have enough bullets to break that shield. Now this will probably kill him. Apparently not. That one did. Alright, so now we'll kill the last few. Got those grenade throwing dregs. And you guys can hear what sounds like one guy way on the other side of the room. Check if anything's up. I am low on primary ammo, which is one of those weird things that actually happens during this thing. Alright, whatever's left, Vandal, this is one of those times arc damage will hurt. As soon as you kill him, then you're going to have all the ads spawn up top. Vandal, Shank, Overload Captain will definitely be up there too. Find your Shanks in the middle of the room. Not a bad time for those. Nice to see a little heavy ammo drop. Check your health before you move too far. Ow. Okay, that stings a whole bunch. If you're in that situation, just move. You can totally come all the way across the room. There we go. Got the Vandal down. See if you can find the Shank as well. And you really just want to isolate at this point to deal with the Captain. And again, your best bet, try and get an angle on him to stun him. Now, if you can stun him and get behind this rock, you should have some cover to work from. But I can also tell you he gets really annoying sometimes. So, make sure your heavy's reloaded. And that's the big thing. You gotta kill the overloads pretty fast. You can't really linger on them too much. If you're trying to do it with primary, you could potentially have some major struggles. So if I can get right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finish, I'm gonna do it every single time. 10 times out of 10, I don't want to try and hope that my heavy works. I'm just going to go ahead and bust through. Alright. Here, have a few ads down below. Gonna have plenty up top for a little bit. Again, scout rifle, the more advantageous option. But I'm still putting in work in with my auto. It works, it's doing things. Doesn't totally suck. You got a lot of bullets, which works, but you know, same thing with the champions. You have to hit the champions more times to break their shield. Scout rifle, hand cannons just seem to be the more viable option overall. Hang out up here, see who's still alive. At some point, there's 2 champions up top. You're also going to have some marauders come down. They're going to be the cloaked guys that you'll every so often find. If you do see them heading to you, you know, try and stop them in their tracks. Now, I have heavy ammo back there, so I can be a bit more aggressive when it comes to the champions. If you're struggling with the heavy, we can do this another way. I'm going to try it at least once. Try and find all the other ads first. Like, Marauder's got to go down first. He just does. Now, overload shot. I'm not done yet. Watch your health. It's not worth getting too risky because their shots are ultra painful. Notice how much is going on right there. 2 overload captains is brutal. I'm trying to not actually... Well, that guy's somehow still low on health, so I'm going to try and put some work in on him. And again, when you're working overloads, if you reload your primary, that's pretty much all you got time to do. Now, in theory, I should be able to keep working this guy down, as long as he doesn't go too far. Now, I don't know if I've ever seen this dude hang out on the stairs. So I'll show you, hopefully, the other example. Because he'll likely be where they both are. What you'll notice about overload captains is the angle of their shot. You'll notice him right here. He's got to shoot down at me because he's like shooting at my head. So if you can play literally what you would call a head glitch right here, you can put work in this guy. Now, the teleports get annoying. Don't get me wrong. But if you can get him stunned and put in a little work and then switch back, you'll be okay. Again, remember, put your shots in with your overload weapon. Get like a good half a clip in there before you do literally anything else. Grenade like that, switch back. You get really, between your overload stun, you get a chance for not much besides like a couple heavy rounds, 1 heavy rocket. You don't really have a chance for a heavy reload. If you do a heavy reload, you better switch back and be firing. So make sure if you're going to switch off your overload weapon, like, hey, I need to reload that, switch back and be ready to fire your overload. So you hopefully continue to trigger that overload, like, kind of trigger so their health doesn't come back. It's unreliable at best. I'll leave a couple outtakes for you guys to see what the hell I'm talking about, because I had a couple frustrating attempts at this. Shoot these this way, just because you don't want any of these killing you in the process. That second one, you want to be all the way back at the end of the hall from, because if you're too close and you don't think it's going to get you, it will. Now, this is going to be the final room. This is also where you're going to have 2 barrier servitors, 1 overload captain, and then the boss up at the top. The 2 captains hurt, the boss and the overload. They hurt. They have that solar shot coming at you from all over the place. A couple vandals are going to be around as well. So our goal is to use this cover here, slowly work down as much as we can. If you get a point where the barrier champions are a little farther away and you stun the overload captain and you think you can kill them with, say, a couple rockets, like 5 grenades, whatever you can do, it is almost worth sacrificing yourself, like even a death, just to get the finisher off if you can. I'll show you what I mean. Hopefully we'll get there. So for now, just try and kill all the ads you can before any barrier servitors get down here. Because the more of these guys, these little ones that are up here to start, they make things a bit more interesting from the get-go. So you got a lot of servitors coming down, no question about it. Overload is already on his way. Now, if I could somehow kill him right here. Can't quite do it, and now he's been stunned. Now he's immune. So, remember when I said I had actually ammo I could go back for? You can still go back for it. And I'm actually going to do it because I have guaranteed ammo. So, this is one of those things. If you ever get in a bad spot in lost sectors, you can actually usually retreat just about as far as you need to go, you know, catch your breath, get to a safe piece of cover, or, just as I'm showing, come back to the beginning and grab ammo. If you remember it's there, don't forget about it. Just picked up like 13 rounds. Now, granted, you normally would cap out at 21 without a field prep. Field prep, I'm getting 24 with reserves on, so I'm still going to take it. Yeah, grab your ammo, run over everything. If you know you've got time and you still think you can make a push, just be aware that when that 15 minutes comes, you've got to be ultra cautious or you start over. But lost sectors really aren't long enough that you start over like anything too dramatic. Now, the other benefit of getting far enough away that you reset some of the ads, you might actually find that some of the enemies have moved and kind of also gone a little less crazy. Now, at this point, my advice on this barrier champion is just to try and focus on one of them. Not both, just one. So be ready if you do enough damage to any champion to stun the barrier champion. Now, this is a point where I've got heavy, where I'm going to go for one of the kills. I want to make sure I've got enough health. And I actually got one down. Now, if I feel like I'm really in bad shape, I can pull back. But at that point, being low on health, knowing I have 9 revives left that'll go to waste in, 3.5 minutes anyway, I stayed in it to try and kill the champion. Overload is still stunned, so I still have to kill the other barrier champion. It's not really an option. It's just what you gotta do. So again, if you want to start the trigger of the barrier servitor's like shield rotation with some heavy, if you can get it back there on it. Try not to waste too much, but if you get a good shot, be ready. It's gonna pop that shield thing quick. There we go. And again, always be reloaded. This is the point where you do not want to kind of botch the shield break when you get the damage part way down. Like if I reload a clip while he's stunned, that's fine. But at this point, once he's up, I'm plinking the damage till I know that that shield is back up. I got plenty of bullets. Going for the break again. Now, I can also go for... I think the grenade actually hit the barrier, the overload guy, so that was kind of a waste. It's a slower process, but again, if you get him to stand still and you're like, okay, now I think I can go for a couple killing shots, then I can go for it. There we go. Barriers are down. Now the overload is a bit more manageable because he's not immune the whole damn time. If you're going to stun an overload champion, do it where you can see it. Now, the other annoying thing about this whole section is if overload's over there, boss is up there. Again, an arc scout rifle, probably the better option than an arc auto rifle. And if you kill some of the vandals, it will make your life easier on the sniping front as well. Anything you can kill from down here, it's going to make your life a little bit better. Whether it's a vandal, a drag, doesn't honestly matter. Just kill anything that's not a champion if you get the opportunity and you can manage it from different angles. Because it will just make things easier. Because the overload's just annoying. That drag I'm trying to kill because these grenades are a bit risky. It's also a vandal trying to snipe me through a window. There he is. See? This coordinated teamwork here. They're trying to flank me. There we go. Alright. That mostly clears out up there. And down here. That I should be able to go for a overload stun. Pretty much nuke him, and then this would be a good time if you had a good super, like golden gun, probably a good option. But now is the time if I'm going to go heavy, and then switch back, and then keep that damage going. And again, overloads are so finicky. Like, I feel like I have to get a whole clip into him, just to make sure that I'm going to actually kill him. There are some wretches that are going to come down, so if you're out there, you go up for a finishing move. Be aware, you will be greeted by some fun buddies over here. Grab any ammo you got, and we can slowly start working up. There will be some more wretch, some more marauders, so be careful as you work around this edge. Boss will stay a little farther back now. There's a marauder. You can just hear the shots coming. Ow. I don't actually know if I've died yet on this one. I'm not 100% sure. There's one way to kill him. Use the box. Or use the exploding barrel. There we go. And again, slowly work around. Look for any invisible guys. If you hear the shots as well that are not the boss, you can, do the random damage to him with arc. Get a little stun on. You'll have a vandal in the back. Watch for any other stragglers. Vandals will still hurt. Even if they may not be the most directive damage, they're still going to hurt. Probably one visible guy. I got a wretch. And then the boss. Like, There he is. Don't be afraid to punch anything, but as a Titan, that seems just second nature. But now you just, like, especially as I'm at 15 minutes, I can't die at this point. His damage is going to just rock my socks. So, be very ultra careful on this one. Peek out, do damage in a little baby burst if you can. Even this close is honestly a little risky. Now, if I can get him stunned for half a second and I could do some heavy damage, cool. But again, you could just slowly break his shield over and over, and that's literally all, and you'll slowly kill him. And again, solar grenades, 25k chunk, not bad. When you start to do more and more damage, you'll get him to push back a little bit. Captains are the biggest weenies in this game because they teleport about 60 times a second, and then as soon as you do any damage to them, they run away. At this range, his shots are less accurate. When you're close, they hurt a lot more because a couple of those will hit you. But again, just play your corners, play your edges. Just like you almost would like playing corners in PvP. Similar idea, sadly. You get a chance where I can put some heavy in. There we go. Keep the damage on. Not great options all the time. He's going to get a shield back. When they have the shield up, they're a little more confident. You start tagging them. I don't even know where he goes. But yeah, at this point, is I'm out of revives. There's no reason to rush this. He's back there now. He must have been hit by the exploding barrel or something. So again, you can go for angles up here. I don't even know if he can shoot me. I'm so far away at this point. So again, arc scout rifle is... Yeah, he can actually, but not much. Just patience on this one more than anything. There's some bad combinations of champions and other things. I could actually go finish him. I could run up for a finisher, but that's just asking to get myself killed. Now, if I can break his shield and hit him with a grenade, yeah, that'll kill him. Let's see if I can do that. Where you at? Oh, he's a big weenie. He's dead. And that's a wrap. Now, that was 17 minutes and not the best loadout in the world, but we got it done. And not much dropping from this one. That being said, you should get something because that is all the champions. So that is platinum rewards. I did it just a little while ago as well. All right, let's get back to the planet surface and we'll wrap up. Now, if I got to try and finish him right here just so the fact that he dies. Now, if I do that, I don't have the time to reload. I got to keep the shots going. Make sure I don't spend too long not shooting him. And this is the thing about overloads. You've got to be on your game. I've got like few bullets left, so I've got to slowly... Why are you getting your health back? I'm still firing at you. Oh, I hate you so much. Yep, cannot tell you how much overload captains annoy the living hell out of me. Gotta get to where you can stun him. And then you gotta be able to fire enough damage at him that he doesn't get his health back. Then reload, then keep firing. Cannot believe the grenade actually bounced, and I'm sure he got his health back. Yep. Yep, this is a restart. Alright, so that is a wrap for this one. So the barrier champions with patience are manageable. The overload champions are really what make this interesting. You need a decent heavy to put a chunk of damage into them. Something like Sleeper, you'd probably get one big charge off and then switch back to your other weapon. Rocket launcher, same thing. If you fire the rocket, don't try and reload and go for a second. If you switch, fire, switch back to your overload weapon. If you switch and have to reload your heavy, when the reload is finished, switch back to that overload. Hopefully the health regen has not triggered. If you're having issues with the health regen on the overloads, believe me, I've had the same frustrations. Sometimes it's just almost like weirdly bugged. Other times I can take them down with a primary, and it's not as big of a deal. So give it a little time, practice a couple, but this one is definitely doable, especially if you're trying to do it, and whatever the rewards are for the day should be something you guys should be able to finish. Hopefully this guide helps you out. If this guide does help you guys, please drop a like below. And if you have loadouts, please put those below for any class, any exotics that you guys find beneficial, any setups that work for you. Please drop those below for everybody to share the knowledge. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy these type of guides or anything Destiny related or pretty much anything from me that you guys like, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. You guys can find me over on Twitter. It's at Ebontis. And then on twitch.tv/Ebontis, I stream Destiny when it's, busy, popping, typically Tuesdays, and then also a variety of other things. Thank you. Have a good one and good luck.